Okay, your turn. Stand up. Stand up. Stand up. You're going to need to put your phones down because you're going to need to do this. Put your phones down. Okay? So here's the moves. Legs wide. Don't. Sir, in the baseball cap, you're going to need to do this too. Okay, ready? Don't. Then front, it's right hand. Right, left, back, shake, shake, booty. Again, one more time. Don't get cocky yet. Okay, ready? Don't. Now listen, it's not this. I mean facials, people. Don't. And then look at my face, there's aggression. And then it's shake, boom. Okay, so now we're gonna do this together, but there's a little intro of music before the don't. Do not forget the moves. The song will tell you what to do, but I need you to freestyle until that point. Okay, ready? Let's go, DJ. Amazing! You guys should do that. If you have teenagers, go home and do that. Now that might seem like a crazy, funny, silly dance to some of you guys. What you don't know, that was my solution. That was my solution. You know me probably from putting music together with moves. And the music tells me what to do. Like I can listen to a song and I'm like, oh, I know what to do to that. Like a song tells me what to do. But that was my solution. I grew up in Michigan. Y'all so silly. But both sides of both of my families were overweight. And all they ever talked about was dieting. So the message I formed from a very young age was, hey, so if you're gonna be overweight, you need to diet. That's really the message I got, because all the overweight people on both sides of my family, all they ever did was diet. And I was a chubby kid, and I didn't want to look like them. So dieting certainly wasn't an option, and I had to figure out a way to keep myself fit. And I didn't necessarily like sports, wasn't that good. Only girl cut from the freshman girls basketball team, only girl. Might have been the way I was dressed. But I didn't love exercise, I just loved music. I loved lip syncing. Like that was a form of exercise for me. I loved like dancing around and wishing I could sing like that and putting moves together that matched the music, and it became a solution for me. It became a way that I learned to burn calories and to get a workout. And that was my solution. And I'm a serial entrepreneur. I put myself through college by flipping cars and learning to sell vehicles, and I developed businesses to help other people find a solution to that problem. So this was a solution I knew would help other people, and that was my very first business. You see, I didn't want to exercise. I just wanted to feel good. I wanted to feel amazing, and I wanted a way to keep my weight down and be able to feel confident and like alive and like invincible, and like that's how I feel with music, you know? There's music that it's an emotional thing, and eventually hundreds of thousands of people started doing that workout in health clubs around the country. I started a business in 1996 with my husband. The first workout that we ever created was called Turbo. Woo! Eventually, Beachbody took us on, and that infomercial sold millions of DVDs, millions. And it's not because of the number of DVDs that are in the set. It's not because of the exercises. It's because of the story. And by that point, it wasn't even my story. It was your story. When people see someone who represents themselves, and they see possibility, and they see opportunity, and they see hope, that's when we can get people to act, to move. You are not in sales, my friends. If you think you're in sales, you may have missed the mark. We are all here because we need to get people inspired to change, to do something, like do something different, right? And how do we get people to do something different? Well, we don't do it by reading to them the ingredients on the back of a bag. And we don't do it by telling people how many DVDs are in a box set. That's not what gets people to change and to do something that's uncomfortable and something that's different. That happens when we tap into emotion. When we feel like we're a part of something. And that, my friends, is why you have an advantage. Because look around this room. Everybody here has the opportunity to sell the same thing. So why do I want to do business with you? Because there's one unique ingredient, and it's you. You are the unique ingredient. Your story is what is going to motivate me to do something different. It is your story that makes that possible. You see, when people start selling, immediately what do? You shut down. Your immediate reaction is, oh, I see what you're trying to do. You're trying to sell me, and my answer is no. Right? When somebody knocks on your door and says, ma'am, we've got a few minutes of your time, and they've got that clipboard, what are you already saying to yourself? I'm saying to myself, did you not see the no solicitor sign? We don't want to be sold. But we can't help but lean in and be moved when people share a story. And you found a solution. Your solution, the reason why you found it, is your story, and that story is different for every single person in this room. But entrepreneurs, we find solutions and then we want to share them with other people. You know, I was 12 years old, and my family, my father's a serial entrepreneur. When I was 12 years old, my parents had a fire, and they didn't have business insurance. Their business and everything they had burned to the ground. And I'll never forget my dad calling me into his office and asking me to sit down in his big brown leather chair. I sat down, he knelt down in front of me, and he was holding a little blue bank book. It was mine. And he said, Chalene, do you know what interest is? I said, no. He said, interest is a way for you to make money when someone needs to borrow money from you. Now, your mother and I have had a fire and everything's going to be okay, but right now, what we're going to do is help you make some money because we'd like to borrow yours and pay you back with interest. Now, that was a moment for my dad who, from the time we were born, he taught me how to make money, how to be self-sufficient. I never worried about that. And here he was again, being the best dad he could be, trying to teach me about interest, about making money. He intended to teach me about business. What I learned that day, the message I received was, I am valuable because I can make people money. I have worth because I can take care of people. And that message stayed with me, and it fueled my desire to be a better entrepreneur, and it fueled every business I ever had. And I had 25 businesses before I ever ended up in fitness. And every single one had to be bigger than the next, because if that's where you find your value, if that's where you find your worth, you can't go down in worth. You can't go down in value. So I always had to do more. And that drove me, man. You don't know. I was like, you will find someone taller, you will find someone cuter, you will find someone thinner, you will find someone smarter. You will not find somebody to outwork me. And I knew that. Like, I don't need sleep. I will outwork everybody. I will outwork them. Because that's how I found value. And so when Turbo Jam was a #1 hit, I was like, here I am again. My story is true. Here I am again. I'm saving the day. Beachbody had just laid off a ton of employees. And now this show is a hit. I'm like, see, my story is real. My story that I've been telling myself is, I am valuable and I'm worthy when I can save the day by making people money. That's what I told myself. And then those checks were big. Those royalty checks. They made my husband happy, made people at Beachbody happy, but they made me scared. I was so afraid because I knew, how do I keep topping this? I know what I'll do. I'll work more, because that's all I know what to do is to work more, and I did. I worked my butt off, and the next program was Chalene Extreme. I thought, I didn't work hard enough on Turbo Gym. I'm gonna work harder on Chalene Extreme. I'm gonna work much harder, and I did. I poured my heart and soul in it. I slept like 2 hours a night. I was running our own businesses where we had a fitness apparel company and certifications and mixing music and doing the infomercials and the test groups and just doing everything. And no, I don't want anybody's help. I will do it all myself so that I can be the one who gets all the credit and I can feel valuable. And when the show didn't work on TV, Beachbody kept trying and trying and trying. And the program works, we know that, because many of you have had results from it, but it didn't work. I love that. And I wish that made me feel good at the time. But at the time, because it wasn't working on TV, because I knew that Beachbody was pouring money into it, and because my story was, you are valuable when you're making people money, now all I could feel was worthless, a failure. Not only do I have no value, I'm costing people money. And it was depressing, and I felt defeated. And I didn't know how to work harder because I didn't have any more to give. I couldn't do more. And it was in that moment that I decided, as I want you to think about today, maybe the story you've been telling yourself is from the perspective of a kid who didn't know much. Maybe the message you've been carrying with you, the story you've been telling yourself that's holding you back from greatness, doesn't even make sense. And that's what I did. I looked at mine and I thought, this isn't even logical. Yeah, I'm successful and I've never been more stressed, less present in my entire life. And that's when I made a decision not to do things to make people money, but to do things for the right reason. To do things for the right people. To put my family first and to stop saying yes to everything, because what story were my kids gonna tell themselves if I didn't have time for them? I was home, I was present, but I wasn't present. And it was in that despair that I decided to rewrite my story. And I decided I could do less. And if I went about this by serving others without ever worrying about my value, I would be abundantly blessed. I'm here to tell you, you can rewrite your story. If you're not the hero, if you're not the person who's winning at the end of your story, if your story doesn't make you feel alive, if your story doesn't make you feel like this is something that's going to inspire others, if your story doesn't yet have a moral to it, a lesson to it, that gets people emotional, then I want you to rewrite your story. I want you to look at the age at which you started telling yourself that story. And does it make sense? So when I started sharing with people that side of me, it was vulnerability, you know? Like it was, I just had to tell people that that's what I was feeling, and I had a lot of shame, and I had a lot of pain, but I knew that things were going to be different. See, I already knew that I'd found my solution. I'd already figured out how to have smart success versus stress success. And when I started opening up and sharing that piece, that story, my lesson, that's when people started changing too. You can get people to do amazing things, but They need the texture of your story. They need to know your wins in the end. They need to know what it felt like and what it looked like and what color the chair was. Don't rush your story. If I can give you a takeaway from my time with you today, it is this. Don't sell. Share stories. Share your story. Allow the people who you have served by being their leader, let them tell the story of what it's like to work with you. Share your story and know how much that emotion and that vulnerability creates reciprocity with people. You see, when we give someone the gift of our story, they feel like they want to be a part of this with us. You know, then you can relate to that person. Have you ever met somebody and think, I really like that person, except that I don't really feel like I know them? Hands up. If you met somebody like they're likable, but there's something I just feel like I don't know who they are. Hands up. Every hand should be up, of course. And then there's those people who, man, there's something about them that you instantly trust them. I mean, we need to get people to act. We need to get people to move. We need to get people to join our team and believe in our mission. And in order to do that, people need to do what? Know, like, and trust you. And I don't trust you if I don't really know who you are. I don't trust you if everything looks rosy. I need to know your story. And there's no better opportunity, there's no better time in the world than right now because of live streaming video. You can tell your story. Don't sell on video. Tell us your story. Tell the story that has the solution in it. So people always ask me, how do I know what part of my story to tell? You have, first of all, everything you've ever been through is another story. If you figured out the solution. You tell the stories where you figured out a solution. Don't give people points, don't give people ingredients, don't give people, the free keychain you get. Tap into their emotion. Help them understand what you've been through, how dark it really was, and where you are today. That gives people hope. Let's face it, a lot of times it's the weight loss that attracts people, isn't it? Losing weight, that attracts people. But they can lose weight a lot of different ways. You can watch free YouTube videos. There's plenty of websites where you can get free diet programs. Apps. There's anywhere. So how do you stand out? Because you have something no one else has. That's how. You are the unique ingredient. So I challenge every person in this room to take some time and figure out your story. And every time you want to get somebody to do something that you once didn't want to do, how did you get there? What was your story? How did you reach this lesson? I encourage you to take advantage of video. If you're not using, not just the testimonials of the people from our workouts, dudes, all that does is get people to buy the workouts. No, they need you. I need to hear testimonials from the people who you have already helped. And if it's one, it's one. Ask people, can you give me a couple of sentences, even in an email, let me know how I've been able to help you. Use those testimonials. They should be on your websites. You should be highlighting those people, and that's a way for you to be able to spotlight your coaches. Testimonials mean you don't have to sell. You watch an infomercial, any of our infomercials, any of the trainers, you're gonna see less of us and more of who? You! Why? Because in your story, others will see themselves. Story is the most powerful tool that you have. Work on sharing yours. Work on getting good on live video, understanding what your message is, getting people to feel your emotion, helping people to understand that there is hope. There's an opportunity for them to make that change. And if you can do it, they can do it. yourself of those stories you once told yourself that don't make sense anymore and rewrite your story. My call to you is to find the courage to write the story where you're the hero. I love you guys.